All right, get ready, everyone, because we're diving right into it. It's transfer deadline day. That means big money moves, last-minute deals, and we're talking some seriously massive players whose futures are hanging in the balance right now. So we're going to unpack all of this and a lot more from this week's episode of the Football Buzz. So let's get right to it.
Well, it's not just the excitement, it's the crazy money flying around. This is looking like one of the priciest transfer windows maybe ever.
It's unbelievable, right? I mean, I know they were even talking on the Football Buzz about whether we'd see any record-breaking deals today.
I mean, think back to, 2017 when Neymar went to PSG. That just, exploded all the old records. Do you think we could see something on that scale again?
I mean, probably not that big. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely potential. Okay, well, speaking of big names, what about Marcus Rashford? They talked on the Football Buzz about how nervous Manchester United fans are about his future there. I mean, it sounds like his form has dipped. There's these rumors of disciplinary issues. And even Rio Ferdinand, the Man U legend, he's saying some pretty harsh things.
Right. He basically said he might have no way back at United.
Yeah.
And, this is interesting because it really shows you how a club works, from the inside. Because it's not just about a single player's performance. Rashford's struggles, they could be because of the manager's tactical decisions.
Right.
Or his place within the team system, or even the dynamics of the entire squad.
So it's a lot more than just, is he scoring or not? There's all this strategy and team stuff going on. Okay, but now get ready for this. Neymar's contract with Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia has been terminated. Did you see that coming?
Wow. No, not really. That says injuries are the main reason, which is, kind of ironic when you think about how much the Saudi Pro League has been spending to get these huge players over there.
Right, exactly. So what's next for Neymar? Is he going to go back to a big European club?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question. He's definitely world-class when he's healthy. But these injuries lately, even with all his talent, teams might be hesitant now.
Okay, so let's move on to some good news. Some fantastic news for women's football, actually. Chelsea just signed U.S. defender Naomi Girma, and it was a world record fee. This is huge.
No, it is really. Girma's transfer fee just shattered the previous record in all of women's sports. It just goes to show you how much investment and recognition is happening in women's football.
This is a win, not just for Chelsea, not just for Girma, but for, all of women's football. Okay, before we finish up this part of the deep dive, the Football Buzz also mentioned a few other stories we wanted to touch on. So first, there was former Premier League referee David Coote. He came out and bravely shared that he hid his sexuality during his career because he was afraid of, the potential backlash, the abuse.
Right, yeah. And Coote's story really shows us,
Yeah.
How much we still need to work on to make football more inclusive for LGBTQ plus people. It's not just about words, it's about action. To make real change.
It really is a powerful reminder that while football can, unite people, we have a responsibility to make sure everyone involved feels safe and respected. Okay, so it also sounds like Celtic might be going through a rebuilding phase soon. They lost a couple key players, right? Kyogo and Jota.
Yeah, that's right. And that's always hard. Finding new talent to replace players like that. It'll be interesting to see what Celtic's management does. To find the right people who fit their system and to, maintain their position at the top of the Scottish Premiership.
Okay, and on a more positive note, Burnley is doing amazing. They're really exceeding expectations in the championship. And the Football Buzz was saying they're a top contender to get promoted to the Premier League.
This season is showing everyone what hard work and tactical discipline and, a bit of that underdog spirit can really do. It's great to see a team like that, punching above their weight and changing things up a bit.
I agree. It's really exciting to watch.
It's crazy, right? All this transfer window madness, but it's not just about the individual deals. You know what I mean? It really feels like things are shifting in terms of who has the power in football.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Leagues like the Saudi Pro League, they're really throwing their weight around, and it's definitely impacting the entire sport.
Exactly, and they're getting players now who, a few years ago, would never have even considered leaving Europe. So it makes you wonder, right? Are we at, the beginning of a new era where these traditional, giant football clubs have to fight harder to stay on top?
It's almost like there's this redistribution of talent and resources. And I think we're going to be seeing the ripple effects for a long time.
Definitely, yeah.
Right.
But with all this talk about money and power, we can't forget that there are, real people at the center of all this.
Yeah, of course.
These players, they're making huge decisions, like life-changing decisions.
Yeah.
And they're under so much pressure. And sometimes they even, they speak out about really important issues like David Coote did. It's easy to get caught up in all the spectacles. But behind all these transfers and goals and headlines, there are real people going through their own journeys.
And Coote coming out, it was a big reminder that we need more inclusivity and more support for LGBTQ plus people in football. But what do you think we can do as fans, or just people watching this? What can we do to help make things safer and more welcoming for everyone?
That's a really important question. I mean, it starts with, calling out discrimination and bad behavior whenever we see it, on or off the field. And we have to support organizations that are promoting inclusivity and hold those in power accountable to create a culture of respect.
Totally. Okay, so on a more positive note, can we just take a minute to appreciate what's happening in women's football? Like Naomi Girma's record-breaking transfer to Chelsea. It's just one example of how much progress is being made.
Right. It really is a testament to the talent and dedication and just the hard work of these athletes. They're finally getting the recognition and investment they deserve.
It makes you excited to think about the future of the women's game, right? What other milestones will we be celebrating in the coming years?
Yeah, I think so too. I think what we're seeing now is a cultural shift where women's sports are finally, breaking through those barriers that have held them back for so long. And it's not just about athletics. It's about showing young girls that they can dream big and challenge those stereotypes and see themselves represented on this global stage.
Exactly. Speaking of defying expectations, it's been so much fun watching Burnley this season, doing so well in the championship.
Yeah, their success this season, I think it just shows everyone that even in a sport where money and big-name signings are, so important, passion and teamwork and tactical discipline can still win.
Burnley's story is just this reminder that, football is more than just the spectacle. It's about those unexpected stories that happen, the underdogs who, rise to the challenge, and those moments that make us believe anything is possible. So now we want to hear from you. What stories or developments from this transfer window have you been following? What are you excited to see happen in the next few months? So we're wrapping up our deep dive here into all this transfer deadline day action. And it feels like, honestly, we've barely even scratched the surface of what's going on in the world of football.
Yeah, it's true. Even just looking at this one day, you can see how connected everything is. One transfer, it can set off this whole chain reaction. It changes things for clubs, for leagues, even for the whole landscape of the sport.
It's like we're watching this giant puzzle with all the pieces, falling into place. And it's amazing how this transfer window, with all the crazy money and the surprises, it really reflects some of those bigger trends we were just talking about.
Right, exactly. The Saudi Pro League. That's changing everything. It's challenging the old way of doing things. It makes us rethink, where's the real power in football now?
It's not just about the money, though.
Right.
We've also seen these stories of individual players who are dealing with all this uncertainty, making these really tough choices, and even bravely speaking out about things that are important to them, like David Coote did.
Yeah, Coote's history, it was a really important reminder that football, even though it's this huge global thing, it's still, it's still working on becoming truly inclusive, creating an environment where everyone feels welcome.
So what can we do?
Well, I think we need to keep talking about it. As fans, as commentators, as people involved in this sport, how do we help build a football culture where we celebrate diversity and challenge prejudice and make sure everyone feels safe and respected?
It's on all of us, right? To actually do something, not just talk about it. Okay, but shifting gears a bit. Naomi Girma's transfer. That record-breaking deal. It's shown everyone just how much progress is happening in women's football.
It's not just a moment, right? It's a movement.
Absolutely.
And it's so exciting. This isn't just about football. It's about women athletes getting the recognition and the support they deserve, breaking those glass ceilings, inspiring all these young girls to dream big. They see themselves up there on that global stage.
It's amazing to see. I can't wait to see what happens next.
Me too.
But even with all the excitement, we can't forget there's still a lot of work to do.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We need to keep pushing for equality, for fair pay, to make sure women athletes have the same opportunities as men.
Totally. And we can't forget about teams like Burnley. They remind us that even with all the money and the superstars, the heart of football is still about passion and teamwork and that underdog spirit that can achieve anything.
Right, exactly.
So as we finish up here, we want to leave you with a question. What do you think? Will this transfer window be a turning point for the sport? Will we see a shift in power? Or will the big clubs find a way to stay on top?
Who knows, right? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, football is always changing, always evolving, always full of surprises, and that's what keeps us all coming back for more.
Couldn't have said it better myself. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of football. Until next time, keep the passion alive and never stop exploring the beautiful game.